Okay, this is my first blog, and this is the project that I'm starting out with. This is a Lacrosse net that I'm building for my son. Right now it is on an angle for netting purposes, to create and tie your own net. That's basically what this is about, how to tie and create your own net. I'm going to lay this down now so you can see the shape of it and how it's built. 6 feet tall, it's 6 feet wide, and it's 7 feet to that back corner. Now we built the frame obviously out of PVC, and I want to show you how I did the back corner, because it's really quite easy compared to another video I saw where the guy had to do all this crazy math. I couldn't figure it out. What you're looking at here is the very back corner, and it's simply built with three, I believe they're 30-degree angle PVC pipe. It's hard to see the center one because there's a lot of rope tied around it. But it's right here. There's this one, and then for a smaller diameter pipe, I put one in the center here. You're going to have to probably sand this one a little bit to get it to fit inside. It's not the exact fit. When you try it at the store, you'll see it doesn't necessarily fit in, but if you sand it down a little bit and once you put some glue on it, it'll slip right in, and you've got yourself a beautiful corner for the back of your lacrosse net. And then you'll notice that corner joist, so you have an option here to either use a bigger PVC. This is, I believe, 2-inch. There's 3-inch and there's 3.5, and of course the larger you go, the more rigid it is. So this net has quite a bit of flexibility to it, and I'll show you. It will move a lot. There's this side. Not so much, especially when we get that one in. And that will be another project that I will show you as I progress. I will do this side later, and that'll also be a part of this blog. So what I'm going to show you next, and I'm going to set it up after I turn the camera off, is how to start your net and not run into what I ran into, which was when my lines were getting too short and I had to add to them. I'll probably also do a demonstration on how to add to them, but if we do this right the first time, you won't need to know how to add to the lines to make them longer so you can get to the bottom of your net. Okay, I'm back. So you'll see I got my first line tied. It's very short, very short. But I've only got to make it to here. But as I progress down here, my lines are obviously going to keep getting longer and longer and longer, so I don't run out. Now, doing it the way I'm going to show you makes it so you don't run out of line. And what I did the first time is I literally tied all these all the way across to the other side, and as I moved across, I tied them one time, so I know how long to go with it. Well, what ended up happening is some of the lines I didn't make long enough because they started doing this across it, and by the time I got to where I needed to be, they were too short. Instead of working one at a time and keeping them going straight, and I'll show you over here, see how those, sorry, see how all the lines are running straight down? So I'll tie this one. I got to start a new one because I've already ended this one actually. I'll start a new one here, and then I'll tie this one into it, and then I'll tie this one into it, and this one into it. Okay, And then I'll meet down here. Now my lines are not all over the floor like they were before. I had a big mess going on here when I did this side. Okay, that took me a week, over a week, about 3 hours a night. And then Saturday and Sunday on the last day, I literally worked through it right through my daughter's birthday, which was kind of cool because I was out here the whole time hanging out and mingling, and everybody got to see it happen. So they were really impressed with the amount of time and energy that went into doing it. So I'm going to turn this off again. I'm going to move back over there. Or maybe I'll just zoom in from here. Close so you can see it, and I'm going to tie a second line into there. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm going to measure my length of string, and obviously that's way long enough for this short little span, but every time you tie a knot the rope gets shorter and shorter and shorter. That's the problem. So I'm going to take another one here. Snip it off. Let's throw this over so it's out of my way. Loop this on like so. That ain't coming off. And I move it over here. And I take this and I loop it around and I tie them together. That gives you your first knot. So before you can go any further, you need to get a second one going, or a third one going. So let me cut another one to length. And by doing this way, you're not straight up and you don't have all these strings running on across the floor. That's how I did that first one. I had this whole area was just a mess of strings and kids walking through it, and all the ends got really, really frayed because of the type of line I'm using. This is 100% nylon. You can do this with any kind of rope. Rope that ties off is even better. With this, I'm all about recycling, reusing, renewing things. And this rope I got from a friend of mine, and we used it to make a swing in our backyard. We used it to make that swing. Those are 14-foot sections of the same line that I'm using, but this line I'm using for the net has been torn apart. And what the kids will do is they'll get up there in that tree, up the ladder, with the swing, and then jump out. They'll also do it from the other side over here. It's a lot of fun for the kids. Okay, back to the project. I'm going to turn this off and I'll turn it back on when I'm in position.